Hi everybody, happy Wednesday afternoon. I have been binge watching the Home Edit. I don't know how many of you guys are watching that on Netflix, but they mentioned on the Home Edit that they're doing a collaboration with Walmart, which I'm kind of excited about because that means there's going to be a lot of those bins that help you hold your craft supplies on the market. That would be amazing. Hi Kelly, thanks for watching. And I am in the process of kind of purging and going through all of my craft supplies, and I have to admit I'm not necessarily like sentimental, but I have trouble passing up a lot of things because I don't want to get rid of everything knowing I'm just going to turn around and replace it. So organization's a big deal for me. So I'm kind of excited about that. I don't know how many of you guys are watching that, but I was like, oh my gosh, that'll be so amazing. I've heard from a few people who have told me that they're struggling a little bit with what to order for club this month, and I just want you to know that they haven't announced any new specials yet that I can share, but there's a couple of specials that end at the end of May, and if you want and you're just really stressing about what to order, I'm okay if you wait until June 1st or whatever it'll still be, the May-June catalog, but there might be a special that pops up that appeals to you or something. I don't want ever this to become like a chore. I mean, this is supposed to be fun. And it kind of made me start thinking you're probably in the same boat that I'm in that the paper packs are not exactly your taste. It's hard to envision how to use some of the papers or colors. So I wanted to show you today. I really love the fresh paint, and I showed you a lot with that last week. So I thought, well, I'm going to jump the gun. I'm going to change my schedule that I have written out, and I'm going to show you Tutti Frutti today. My plan was to switch to cards, but I gotta be honest, I'm not in the card mode right now. I've been so busy with stuff. I'm still scrapbooking. I love this layout right here in the catalog. A lot of people have been recreating this layout, and because it's so easy to redo, and it's really cute. So that one has been really popular. And one of the issues I personally have with the Tutti Frutti is that I don't exactly love purple. So the purple addition to this is throwing me a little. And then some of it is a little bit, it looks pastel in here, but it's not really pastel. They used a little bit of a faded version. So I want to show you this in real life because I think that you'll like it. So these are the colors of the collection. It's like mint, grape, lemonade, flamingo, and capri. And so you could cut out any one of those colors. Like if I don't want to use grape, those work just fine, just those four. Or if I don't like mint, I could use those four. I'm just saying, those are the colors that we're going to be using. I'm going to set those down over there. The PML cards are really nice, but they're kind of geared more to scrapbooking, I would say, this month than card making. This would be a good background for a card, but there's several journaling cards, and I want to make sure you can see them. And so these are really nice to have because they add to a page or add to a card. The smaller ones, some of them are more card oriented. I may use some of these to make a few cards in the upcoming weeks. The other thing that they have in stock now are the really fun little shapes. They're called Tutti Frutti mini shapes, and they're super thin. I put them on a paper plate, so hopefully you can see those, but they're extremely thin, and they're almost like those, remember the clay shapes from a long time ago? They're almost like those, but they're really, really small and really, really thin. So they're perfect for a card or a scrapbook page or a shaker because they're not so thick that they'll get stuck. And you get 1 billion of them. So that's a cool thing right there. I'm gonna set those aside because I might use those in a minute. And then I want to show you the papers real quick. I know I've shown you the papers before. You're probably like, oh God, don't do it again. Hi, Bonnie. But I really do think that it's easy to kind of overlook just how summery these actually are. Like, to me, that's like a cabana stripe. And on the other side is a solid blue, and then there's popsicles in all those colors I showed you, and then fruit stripes on the other side. And they're all pretty usable papers, and so I'm going to show you today a few ways that I use them. The other thing I wanted to show you, let me get this out of the way, I actually bought several packages of this. I've been challenging myself to use it. The other thing I wanted to show you is some inking techniques using a sponge. Now these sponges are dirt cheap. You can get them anywhere for like under 50 cents. And they're just normal sponges. You can get them at like Walmart, Home Depot, whatever. And what I do is I cut mine up into shapes, into wedges, so that I have either one for every color or one for, you know, several projects. And then sometimes I'll even use like a binder clip or something to like use it to like grab the sponge so I don't even get my fingers inky or gross. So that's an option also. Probably use the larger binder clips. I'm going to just set these off to the side for a moment, and I want to show you, I've got my messy mat down here. You may have noticed this is an all-purpose mat. If you don't have one of these mats like this, just use a piece of like wax paper or a paper plate that, you know, some paper plates have, like the cheap ones especially, have like a waxy coating. Those are perfect for these kinds of projects. You don't have to buy one of these, but I just think it's easier to see on camera. So I wanted to show you three different techniques. I had to think about that. So let me grab, oh, the other thing I have in my pile, sorry, this is the mix-in pack, and it goes so well with the Tutti Frutti papers that I just wanted to show you that you can extend your collection pretty inexpensively just by buying those and adding that to it, because it's not very much money. All right, let me grab some paper. So one of the things that close to my heart did, sorry, I have all this stuff in the background. I have piles of stuff behind me, right? One of the things I have, this is a layout that Close to My Heart put in their album retreat advertisement. And this is one of the techniques of using ink that they showed during the retreat, and this is one that they gave us permission to share, this particular layout on how to do it. And I thought about just recreating this layout with you during a live. I'm not sure whether I will or not, but I do want to show you how to do the cool stripes, because that is something that is really unique and different. So I'm gonna use my messy mat here, and basically you pick the colors. You pick like 4 or 5 colors. You could use all 5 if you wanted to. Maybe I will, just to show you what that looks like. And then put them in the order that you like. I think I'll do that order right there. I think that looks pretty good. And then the other thing that you need is some water, because I use a spritzer, but you could use anything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my ink pad, this is Flamingo, and I'm going to smudge it. I wanna make sure you can see. There. I'm gonna smudge it a little bit onto there. You can kind of see where the ink is. And then I'm going to take my spritzer and I'm gonna dampen my sponge, spray my sponge. I'm gonna do that off so I don't get water everywhere. But I've put some water on my sponge, made it nice and wet, and then I'm gonna tap it into the ink. And then basically all you're doing is dragging the ink down into a stripe. Now, you can put on as many layers as you want. You could do 1 layer, but basically that's how you do it. The more water you add, the more problems you may have, just because your paper will warp just a little. This isn't watercolor cardstock, so it's not really made for lots and lots of water to be added. Let's do some grape. And so you just have to be a little bit careful about letting it dry before you use it. So there's my grape. Now I'm going to do that stripe. And if it doesn't smear as much as you want, you just add a little more water to your sponge. Like I said, I try to use as little as possible. And then clean that up before I get it all over the place. So you can see I'm basically making stripes on this page, and then what they did then was just they decorated the page in a way where your stamped images or whatever are the same color. So here's a pink. They used pink images, pink. They tried to use the pink on the pink, the yellow on the yellow. So you can see like they stamped the yellow onto the yellow. This is a rubber stamp or a stencil. They used the green onto the green and the turquoise onto the turquoise. So as you're creating the page, you're just keeping it into like color blocks, and that's what you end up with. So that would be really cool for the Tutti Frutti papers. And so I'm not going to finish this page today because I have a good, I don't know, like 3 others that I want to show you, but I just wanted to show you that technique. And see how the paper's a little warbly right there? All you have to do is set it under a book or something. It'll be flat. And once you put it in page protectors and put your pictures on it, it does not look that way. See, like you cannot tell on this page that it had like a wavy effect. I use a lot of adhesive on those pages also, so that way they're really stuck down well. Okay, so there's one idea. The next idea that I want to show is kind of a sponging idea. Hold on a minute. I'm getting my paper here. Instead of using white, I'm going to use vanilla. It kind of, one thing about it is I like how it looks with this fruit paper, and the background is a real pale version of lemonade, and so it kind of looks nice to have the off-white. You could use white, but I just chose this way. So what I want to do on this page is I want to use one of the cards that says, "You're my jam," and I'm going to put pictures of, you know, me and Steve or me and Jen, whatever. And so I want to show you a technique that will look kind of splatty like jam. All right, so let's get those out of the way. We're going to use the grape again. I can scoot this over just a little, so I want to make sure you can see it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the grape, and I'm going to use the ink pad, and I'm going to put this in a splat kind of on my paper. And then I'm going to use my water, and I'm going to mist it. Now I don't want it like drenched, right? I don't want it so drenched that it's watered down too much. I'm just gonna put my hand on it, put my paper down, rub that around, and then lift. And then look at that. It looks like a splat of grape jelly. I just think that's really cool. Okay, so I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do this 2 or 3 times because this is gonna be what I'm putting on my page. Now, if you want it to be more airy looking or whatever, you could use more water, but I really like this jam look. I'm gonna put some down here like that. Now I'm going to get my second page. I'm going to do more of the same. And also, if you want it to be not so big or not that shape or whatever, you can, the way you put your ink on here will be what shows. So, like I could turn it. See how that looks? So this is kind of a cool, it's a very weird, but it's kind of a cool looking technique, right? So I like how it looks really messy, you know, like jam. All right, now let me take a cloth and wipe that off because I don't want that all over the place. All right. So I have this. I am going to let this dry for just a moment while I show you the next thing I want to do. So with this page, I want to show you, actually, hold on a minute. I think I'll use my jam page. So the other thing I want to show you is an inking, sponging kind of technique to make a title at the bottom. And with that, I'm your jam paper. You're my jam. It'll be like purple. And you know there's 2 sides, so you can use the light side or the dark side of the grape, whichever looks better with your page. And then what I did was I cut out a couple of, so you could do popsicles. I like the fruit though with the jam theme. I'm just gonna go ahead and adhere that down. And do I want light or dark? I think I want light. And put that down, kind of try to center it a little. All right, so I could put this I'm just making a background. So I could put this any way I wanted to. I could put it like this. I could put it up in the corner. And on this one, I could put it, you know, I could cut it and do like a triangle on each side. But I am going to put this one up here. And I want a title down here at the bottom. So let me just move my camera again. Sorry. I want you to be able to see that. Okay, so I can decide what color I want this title. Excuse me, my allergies are killing me with this. So I'm coughing a lot. Okay, so I can decide what I want this to say. Like if this says "You're My Jam" on one page, on page 2, I want, you know, sweet or something. Let's just do sweet. That's a good one. So if I put that there, I have about 2 inches at the bottom. And I think I will use the grape again. And let me find my grape sponge that I used earlier. What did I do with it? I buried it or something. Ah, there it is. Okay. We have grape. So what I'm going to do, now I need to pull in my scrap paper. Okay. Everybody can see that. You can see the page at the bottom. And I'm going to open up my grape ink, and I'm going to use my sponge, and I'm going to tap it right onto the ink pad, and then I want to tap it a little bit off to the side just to make sure I don't get some big blotch. And then I'm just going to real lightly sponge in that bottom section. And what I want is a soft look, not a blotchy look. Or I don't care if it's blotchy, as long as I don't get a big glob of ink in there. Okay, you can hear me squooshing against it. All right, just like that. Okay, now I can stamp the word sweet. Now I have these, this alphabet is a double alphabet. It's called Celebration, and there's a solid and an outline, which is really cool because you can stamp your letters in a solid. You can do an outline first, like in black or something, and then do a lighter color or something with the solid. You can make them dual toned or whatever. Today I'm just going to use the solids, and I'm going to put this foam that came with it underneath here just to give it a little bit of a cushion where I am stamping. Okay, so I know I'm going to use the T. I know I'm going to use the E. It's nice to have several blocks because you can kind of put all your letters out that you're going to use. I like to use 2 sides like that. Okay. Set that aside a moment, and then we're going to use the grape, and we're going to use it in the dark, you know, in its regular color, and we're going to put it directly onto our paper to spell out the word sweet on that really cool shadow effect that we have. Try to make it, I have a tendency to be off kilter, and if you're one of those people like me who, you know, makes your letters wonky or something, I would recommend doing it on purpose. Like, make your letters wonky on purpose. There's the W. And the reason I'm re-inking is I'm putting ink on here, and then I'm looking through the stamp, as you can see, where like if I have a blotchy area, sometimes I'll put just a little more ink on before I stamp, just to make sure I get a nice image. The other thing that you can do, especially with newer stamps, is you can like hold them onto your paper just for a moment. Like, don't be in a hurry to go poink and lift it up. Like, stamp it down and give it a moment for that ink to transfer, and you'll get a better image that way. Okay, I'm just putting my letters away. Okay, so we have sweet down there. I know it's not this. If you want to see how cool this alphabet is, I should just show you really neat how this works. It is really cool. Let me do an A and just show you, because everybody should have at least one kind of generic-y alphabet. Just if you're not sure what to buy, this is a good one. It doesn't have to be this alphabet, but it's nice to have a double alphabet, because I could just make a title with the outline like that. And then I could use the solid, and I can fill that with the grape. Now maybe, what if I don't want it as dark? I can stamp it off and then stamp it right into the center. Look how cool that looks. So you can make that any color you want. It's just kind of, it gives it a little more, it gives you a little more option for how you use the stamp set. Some of them are just, you know, or just the alphabet, and they're great. I use those too, but it is kind of nice to have a little variety. Okay, so there's that, done with that. So I did sweet, I did this. Let's go ahead and let me see if that's dry. Yep, it's dry. I'm just gonna move this out of the way a minute. All right, so let me put this on here so you can see it. Pretty much can. My camera angles have been bad lately. I apologize. Trying to get it so where you can really see it. Okay, so I am going to get my thing out of the way. I'm going to put this down. Do you see how it looks like splotches of jelly or something coming out of the sides? I love that. I think that's cool. And when you use it with a title like You're My Jam, it's like, it makes it look like jam even though it's not jam, right? But it looks messy like jam. Look at that. I just think that's really cool. And then for the first page, I am going to do the same thing. I know I'm getting close to being out of adhesive, so I grabbed another one just in case. I don't know how many of you guys have an ATG, but I love mine. If you have an ATG, one of these, this 1/4 inch size, I buy my refills from Tape Jungle, and Tape Jungle is, I think I'll put this down here. Tape Jungle, if you buy it, like buy the case, which is a lot of adhesive, or you buy it just in a bulk, more of a bulk fashion, you can get these refills for under $2. I think I've calculated my last order out because I bought a case of them at a time, and I think they're, I want to say $1.80 something each, which is some of the cheapest adhesive you could get, and it's super adherent. Like it's some of the best adhesive you can buy. Okay, and then I want to do this You're My Jam up here, and I just had this scrap, so on the other side it's yellow, so I could do yellow and it really pops. I could just, but I kind of like the green, and do I want to do the dark or the light? I'm gonna do the light again. All right, let me get my trimmer. Trim that just a smidge. I usually try to have all this stuff done, all the trimming and everything done, because I like that you aren't sitting there watching me glue. You know what I mean? Now, I use a lot of foam tape on my pages, but I tend to use the thin foam tape. And when I'm using foam tape on my pages, thin I mean in thickness, I don't like to be skimpy with it in a scrapbook. I don't care about a card. I can put a couple little pieces on a card, but on a scrapbook page, it gets into your book, it gets a little bit of pressure, and whatever you're popping up will sink over time where you haven't put tape. So normally I put more than this. I'm just saying, I usually use more. And the other thing is I like to leave the edges, I don't like to put this so close to the edges like I did here. Let's see. You're my jam. I'm gonna put this here. Wonky, do I want it wonky? I think I'm gonna put it like that. Okay, and then I have the sticker sheet, and the sticker sheet is just loaded with different fruits and things. There's watermelon, there's a purple, whatever that is supposed to be, great orange, whatever it is. There's a pineapple I can use. So I'm just gonna use a bunch of fruit. There's a peach, there's a blue lemon. See, blue lemon, come on. Anyway, so I am going to make just a little cluster of fruit. And I'm gonna put it down here like this. See how it says sweet? And I like this, but I need it popped up because I popped this one up. So I'm just gonna use a couple pieces on it. Now, I want it to overlap just a little, so I'm only putting the foam tape on one side, and I'm gonna have that overlap. I hope that makes sense. And then see, I can put it like that. See how it has that? I can kind of put the foam tape right up to the edge of it, and then it doesn't sink right here, but it sticks to my jam thing. That's cool. I also have this pear. Try to decide where I want to put it. See, like I said, I normally have this kind of thought out in my head what I want to do. Yeah, today, nope, 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 nope. I'm kind of slower today about getting my act together. All right, so I'm gonna put this up here. I'm gonna have a little strawberry, and then there's a couple of those strawberries. All right, I think this is super cute. And then the other thing that I thought would be really cool. I'm probably gonna mount my photos on this green, on the mint color. I really like how this page looks. And just imagine using this technique for anything messy. Gardening. It could be a cool background. If you have a kid having a birthday for the first time or something, and they're, you know, super messy, eating their cake or whatever. These are the Cake Day dots, and like I said, they have kind of a wild berry color in them, but they look purple when you put them next to purple. It's interesting. They look like wild berry when you put them next to wild berries. Go figure that out. So I'm just putting some random dots on there. Sometimes I add just a dot of glue under them just to make sure the adhesive sticks for a long time. It's kind of like, you know, I want my scrapbooks to last, so sometimes I'll put a dot of glue where I want them to be. Sorry, I got like a little clog. There we go. So I'll put dots of glue, and then put, you know, these where I want them to be. I think that looks really sweet. Look at that. I think that's cool. I hope you like that. It'll look really neat with photos on it. And it could be, you know, these splotches like this are so fun. You could do it just as a background, whatever. I think that turned out really nice. Okay, I have another page to show you. Hold on. Okay, so last week I showed you this page made with the fresh paint papers, and what I decided to do was cut down some of the pages or papers from this paper pack and recreate the layout. I think that's really a neat idea. So this is the first page, and so here is this. Now, you'll notice on this page, there's some sponging up here, there's some sponging off to the side and at the bottom. There's also some spattering, and I wanted to show you how to do that. So I went ahead and I cut a couple of pieces of cardstock that coordinates with this paper, and I cut a couple of pieces of the pattern. I could flip it over and just as easily use the other side, although I probably would have cut the popsicles vertically, but this is the side I wanted to use anyway. So here's this. Let's start by doing a little bit of sponging, and you know, you can pick what color. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Capri color. So I have a new sponge that I haven't used yet, and I have my trusty scratch paper out. I'm just going to real light sponge in this upper corner. Now, if you don't like how that looks and you want it to be a little more solid, use your spritzer pen and spritz your sponge and just get it a little bit wet. And then you don't want a lot of water on your ink pad. That's like a really bad idea. It doesn't ever bother me. I don't use very much water, but you can kind of see the difference. It makes it a little bit more obvious, I guess, like a little bolder. And then the other place is down here at the bottom. And you want it to be kind of wild and you don't want to be all geometric like me. Like when I do it, I'm telling you, I have a tendency to be like, okay, this needs to be an oval. This needs to be I mean, don't be like me. Do it like a little more random. Now the other thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna scoot this out of the way a little, and I have my mat down. I have my Capri ink. I'm gonna squeeze it, squish, squish, and it gets into the lid. And then what you wanna do is either use your spritzer and spritz into the lid, or you wanna use like a water brush. My water brush, I think, is empty. Yep. So I guess I'll use my spritzer. Okay, so I'm gonna spritz into the lid just a little bit. Pick up some of that water. You want your brush to be really wet, but you need some color on there. And then you're gonna spatter it. Do you see? I don't know how well you can see the spattering. You can use any brush to do that, okay? Now, let me just show you that close up. Ta-da! Spattering is sort of seems to be my thing lately. I feel like every time I turn around I'm showing you that lately. But and then for this, just wipe this out with a paper towel or something before you put it back on your stamp pad. Okay, so there's page 1, and then let me move everything back over. And here's the other page I'm recreating. Here's my pieces, right? I can decide if I want the dark or the light. I think I want the light on that. And it looks like, if you want to recreate it exactly, it looks like they kind of laid this down like this. And then we're gonna do this one. I think we'll do that one. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we'll do the glasses. And that one goes up a little more. And then we will do the purple, and you can decide if you want it dark or light. I kind of like the lighter of this grape with this paper, but you could do anything you want, okay? And then this kind of goes down like this. And the last piece will be the fruit. I knew I was getting close. Sorry guys, I gotta change out my ATG. Have you ever changed these out? Oh my gosh, I just looked outside. It looks like it's gonna rain. I don't think it's supposed to rain today. That's weird. Okay, so basically there's a leader. It's sticky on one side. I pull it out pretty far and I pop this down, and then there's a little notch where it pops into place, and it goes over the first, under the second, and around. Over, under, and then it goes around. And then it goes into a little notch right here and just wraps around. And then this pops back in, and you twist it, it kind of clicks. Done. Okay, try again. Get my paper back. Get rid of this. It's over 90 degrees here today. What's your weather like, Stephanie? Is it like miserable in South Carolina? I bet it's not. I bet it's beautiful. Okay, and then this one is kind of up and down. The thing about this one is you want it so that your sponging shows on the side and at the bottom, right? The other thing that they did, which was kind of cool, is they stamped some images on here. I just have a couple of different things. I'm just gonna, maybe I'll just stamp a few hearts just to have something to show you. So I'm gonna stamp a couple hearts there. I like that. And then we'll put stickers on it in just a few minutes because I want to do page 2. So here's page 1. We have several things we can add to it. We can add acrylics, stickers, stamps, whatever we want, but I have a title for this. Okay, let's do page 2. Page 2 looks like this, and again, 4, 5 different things and a couple of photo placeholders. There's some stickers in the corner and in the 2 corners. Cute. And again, there's sponging on this. You'll notice there's sponging here at the top, here on the side, and here at the bottom. So that's what we're gonna do. Again, I cut out some of the pieces. So let's do the sponging first. We will sponge with the blue again. Let me get my scratch paper. I feel like it's one of those days where it would be nice if it rained because it is so incredibly like miserable today. The steam is really something. All right, I went ahead and wet my sponge a little bit. All right, there's that one. Now we're gonna do one at the bottom corner down here. Like that. And then we're gonna do one in the bottom left. I'm making them big because I know they're gonna be mostly covered up, but I don't know how much I'm gonna cover them yet. So I'm making them big compared to how much is actually gonna show, and that's okay. Now the other technique that they did, do you remember how on that other page we did that splooshing thing where we laid it down and made jam? That's kind of what they did right here with this blue. So they more or less did the same thing. So you take your ink pad and you put that on there, you spoosh it with the ink, and this one you want a little more watery, okay? And then you decide which side you want to use. I'm going to use a light so that this technique will look better, and I'm just going to tap it in. See how if I don't hold it down, if I just tap it down, see how it looks more splotchy? That's what I want. I want it splotchy looking. Isn't that cool? And it's a lot of it's going to be covered up, so I don't need to do a lot of that. But okay, again, make sure you wipe your paper down before you put anything on it or you'll be sorry. Okay, this dries super fast. All right, so I just want to show you the page. 5 different pieces, and we're just gonna glue this down. This is really nice for scraps. I mean, think about how many scraps you have after you use a paper pack. And oh, I forgot to spatter. Hold on, let me spatter. Forgot to spatter. Oh my gosh, my signature move lately. Okay, I'm gonna squish, open. I'm gonna add a little water to this. Sorry, I'm going off the side because I know how to make a mess. I'm gonna get my brush super wet. I'm gonna make sure I have color on it. Now the other thing that makes great spatters is a shimmer brush. If you had a shimmer brush in one of these coordinating colors, it looks so cool. All right, ta-da. All right, clean up my mess, wipe this out. if you're not sure what to buy this month and you're like, you truly are like, oh my gosh, I want to buy something, but maybe buy a tool. Do you have a mat? Do you have a water brush? Maybe you need a block or two. The stamp chamois are really great. So think about that as you are looking through the catalog. If the papers aren't your jam, maybe one of the other items will be. Okay, let's see. You'll notice that I have a bajillion, not an exaggeration, I have like a bajillion stamp blocks, and that is because I use them like crazy. Now, when they created this page, they inked around the edges. Now, if you wanted to do that, you could take your purple, wherever I put it, purple or black even, and you can ink around the edges and do it like they did. And it does look kind of cool. It does add to it. It gives it like a little bit of texture or dimension. Just another thing that you can do with your ink. Maybe you need ink. I think a lot of you have like Stampin' Up! Inks and stuff. There's no reason you can't do these same techniques with those ink pads. Okay. Instead of the fruit, I'm going to use the popsicles. And, oh, let me go ahead and put my adhesive. Now, this one, it's not completely dry. It's almost completely dry. So I'm just going to put it on with a lot of adhesive just to make sure that I don't I'll put that on like that. Okay, check that out. Isn't that neat? So we basically recreated the page using the other papers. I love how it looks. Love how it looks. Okay, let me pull in page 1, page 2 again, and let's decorate a little bit. And then we will be done with, I have one fast page to show you after this. Now, one of the things that they did was they took their journaling pen and they did a black line all the way around. And you can certainly do that if you want. Let me see if I have my fatter pen. I want you to be able to see it. My thin pen is a little hard to see on camera. I like the journaling pen. So when I do this, to make as straight a line as possible, I go up and away. That's just my way of doing it. And I want it to be a little bit wonky, but that's why I turn my page. The other thing you can do, sometimes people are like, need to go across, but move your entire arm and not just your hand. Otherwise you go in like a weird arch. So, and then if you get really wonky and you're like, oh, that was a mistake, I don't know what to do about that, just make a second line and do it on purpose, and just kind of make it, you know, on purpose a little off. Sometimes I will add like a little something on the line, like little X's. Sometimes I'll stamp on the line on purpose just to like add to the doodle. Okay, so let me do this one really quick. I know you guys are like watching me draw lines. but it's kind of it is something that does really seem to add to the page. Oh, I hit that other page. It's a good place for a doodle. Wherever you have like a little wonky something, it's probably a good idea to add a little doodle to it anyway. It looks neat. It draws your eye to the border. Okay, so now we can look at our sticker sheet. You can decide what you want it to say. If you want to focus on ice cream, you could do life is sweet, or you are sweet, or this is the life. There's a lot of options here. I really love these sunglasses, and I'm gonna do summer pictures on here. So let me just pop that there. I really love the sunglasses, so I will add, I'll probably put a title at the bottom and use the sunglasses at the bottom until I decide what I'm gonna do. I love the summer fun. I think I'm just gonna do it like this. I'll add the summer fun into the little spattered area, and then I'm gonna add some foam tape to this. Don't groan. I know. Let me. Can you picture some of the photos that you would put on here? These could be anything, and I don't even think I would necessarily have to photo mat these. I mean, you sure can. I have a couple. I have a couple of photo mats, you know, to put on here so you can see what that would look like. And you can tell that it could be anything. It doesn't have to be a beach, but it could. It doesn't have to be ice cream, but it could. It could be anything. Love that. I'm gonna put that like that. I really like this set that has, look at the all day, every day. I could cut that out and put that at the top. I may do that in purple. I won't make you watch me do that, but I just think it would look really cool. And I have more photo mats here. There's all kinds of popsicle icons, which would be really neat on this page. You can do popsicles or ice cream bars. You can make like that. And then you could put any of the messages, good times, this is a life, you and me. Really love it. I'm gonna put this here. So, and then you can put hearts and stamp things on it. There's all kinds of stuff that you can add to this. I love this little ice cream down here. I'm gonna use that on the next page. Okay, let's do the third page because it's been an hour. I know that gets old. Oh yeah, and the banners, yep. I think this page is adorable. And I love it with this paper. You know, this paper is not necessarily one of the papers that I would pick, but I do love how it looks. I love these little shaker pieces, and I know I'm gonna glue a few on. Look at that. Cute. I'll probably put several different things on scattered on here. I'll put the final picture on the website when I'm done. Okay. And finally, I was kind of making a, I wanted to show you, I wanted to make it look like Baskin Robbins, right? So I used a mocha brown background with shortbread. I made a banner across the top using my old scissors. Anybody got the old Fiskars scissors? And I could have made it scallopy rounded, but I made it this way instead. It's just fun. And then I used the sticker at the top. So I'm gonna do page 2 to match, and I wanna show you what I did. I gutted my page because I wanted to use the center for photo mats. And so to do that, you put it into your trimmer and you just trim at the like 1 or 2 inch mark and just go down around the page. I know I've shown this to you several times. And then I gutted my shortbread page as well. And I'm gonna put adhesive around. What this does, since I'm 3 layers of cardstock plus stickers or pattern paper, I just thought it's kind of nice to have that extra cardstock gutted out of there, because it makes your book so thick. And then I have the pink. See, that's sort of Baskin Robbins colors. I have ice cream pictures I'm gonna put on this. So I just used cardstock and then I used that cabana type pattern. Oops. Okay, try again, Con. Okay, put that on there. When I put the cabana cardstock on, I just cut a 3 inch piece and then used my cool scissors on there. I want it to have dimension, and so I used my thicker foam tape and I put it just at the bottom. You know how awnings kind of stick out? And then, so now that foam tape is there, and then this part I'm gonna make flat. I'm gonna put it right here, just on the shortbread. And then you can kind of see that it had, this part is up just a little bit, like I can slide things under it just a little. Okay, now I have my sticker sheet. I'm getting my other border, and I'm gonna put that at the top, and that way it'll match my other page. Now I went ahead and just made it, I wanted the brown to show. There. Ta-da! Now that matches. Now the other thing that I did was I took the stamp of the month for June. I know it's a little early, but there's a I love summer stamp, and I stamped it at the bottom tone on tone. So I just want to show you a trick for stamping that. When you have these long wonky stamps, when you peel them off real slow so they don't tear. And you can see they have a kind of a mind of their own, and it's real easy to stick this on the block crooked. And as a matter of fact, that's one of the things that's cool, is you could intentionally, you know, stamp it crooked, but I don't want it crooked right now. So one of the things I do is sometimes I will drag it. I'll drag it along the page like that, and it will straighten itself out. The close to my heart blocks have a little tiny line on them right there. I don't know how well you can see it, but there is a little line, And you can use that line as a guide to know that you're pretty straight. And then I'm just going to use the flamingo ink. And I am going to stamp that at the bottom. Now, I'm going to hold it on there for just a minute because tone on tone, and this is a soft color. So I want to make sure it stamps really nicely, and then lift it off. And then you get that. Now the other thing about these stamps is that my plan for this set is to do some stamp surgery on them. I mean, it's awesome to use them as border strips, and you'll always be able to use them as border strips, but maybe I only want to use the word summertime and I don't want to deal with the rest of this. I can cut these words apart or cut these images apart and just use one. Like if I wanted to do it's not called bobo tea. If I just wanted to do a bobo tea or a glass of lemonade, or you know what, just one image, I could just use that one image. And then if I want to use them in a stripe again, sometimes I will intentionally cut it a little wonky so they'll fit together like a puzzle on my block in the future if I decide to use them as a whole strip. Okay, so I did that. Now the other thing that I did, and I'm not going to make you sit and watch me, is I used a brown gel pen and I just kind of doodled down the side with, you know, dots, X's, and hearts. And then I cut out some, I've got to clean off my table over here. I got a big mess. I cut out a few photo mats to use, and you can use them any way you want. Maybe I'll make this one up and down. I'll probably wait to use these until I have my photos ready. But I love how they can slip underneath that awning. I think that's really cool. I love that. And there. So what I did, one of the biggest stickers on this sticker sheet is one that says, here's the scoop. And I think that's really, really cute. And so I put it onto mocha cardstock using foam tape so it pops up just a little bit, and then I'm going to put it right here. And then one of the PML cards, I can use that as my journaling card. So there's that page. And then on this page over here, I thought I could use the clusters of the ice cream. And look at the tree yourself. That is so adorable. Look at that. It is so fun. I think this one is going to have to be on foam tape as well. So I don't want to stick it on quite yet. I'm just going to lay it there for now. And then you could do kind of a little collage of the ice cream, or you know, whatever you want to put on this page. Let's see. I think I'll put this one on here, and then these two down here. How cute. And then I'll probably go ahead and put a few scattered hearts, or some of the, if you'll notice, the Cake Day dots are still available, but what's really nice is there's a variety of colors on here that are kind of common. So there's a lot of yellow and blue and the yellow and blue dots would go great on this page. So if you have any of those, that would be great. I also have some of the wild berry glitter, and those gems add some sparkle to the page, and so that's a cool embellishment too. All right. Woo, woo, woo. I think that's it. This is what I have for today, and I hope you really like the pages. I just wanted to show several techniques and several ideas and show you this Tutti Frutti paper in a, you know, on an actual page, an actual layout, because my first thought was, this isn't exactly my idea of summery colors, but this is a summery page. And so I love that these, let me grab the others here. These are definitely summery layouts. This technique of this would look cool with any kind of water. You could use, you know, water layouts, or any summer picnic or summer outing, or just get together. And then that You're My Jam, where we did the jam splattered pages. I think that one turned out super cute. Steve and I have a ton of pictures where we've done selfies just when we're out walking the dog and stuff like that, and so those kind of photos look really good on here. And then we just had that one, I don't know where I put it, and then we just had the one that I showed you with the stripes, which I will definitely be working on. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Have a good afternoon, and if you see those containers at Walmart, let me know, because I want some. I haven't gone to Walmart for a while, but I'm sure the show I'm watching is old enough where they should start showing up in the stores soon. Thanks.